Hello, everyone. There is another episode of the Adair Law Group podcast. Today, we have a very great and nice friend of me and great friend of me, Miss Kara Jenkins, is a mayoral candidate and a lawyer at the same time. And we have her on this show to talk about
How tired I am.
how tired you are.
Yes.
And you're coming from the governor's office, yes?
Yes,
Today,
at my state job. Yep.
So,
Yep.
welcome to the show.
Thank you,
Okay,
Sam. I'm so happy to be here.
Thank you for accepting our invitation to come over.
Always.
Okay. And I know you are running for the mayoral office
That is
of the city
correct.
of Las Vegas.
Yes,
Is
I
it
am.
Right?
Yeah.
Okay. So when is the
When's
when
the
is
race?
Yes, the race.
Well, right now you're seeing a lot of candidates publicly declare, like myself, that they're running for mayor, Sam. But we actually officially file the week of March 4th.
Okay.
And then once you file, it's really kind of on at that point. And the primary election's June. It's June 11th for the general election in November, which is going to be the same time when we vote for president too. So it's right on par with the presidential election too. Yeah.
Primary is in June, yeah?
Yes, June
and
11th.
the actual election is going to be
November
November
5th.
2024.
Yes, all next
With the
year.
presidential
Yes.
election.
Yep, we vote for all of those things.
Okay, so tell me what your platform that you're running on.
Thank
First
you.
of all, let me
Who
ask
am-
you something.
Yeah.
Because we had a discussion. You said that the mayoral office actually is a nonpartisan
It
seat.
is. It is traditionally nonpartisan. So the mayor's office is nonpartisan in the sense that it was intended to be reflective or representative of everybody within the city limits, regardless of your political party affiliation. And it just so happens that I've always been that way. I've been a registered nonpartisan. I've worked as an appointee for both Democrats and Republican governors. And so I can kind of see both sides, but also my focus is really people. My job with the state as the Equal Rights Administrator now under Governor Lombardo is to make sure everybody gets a fair shot. And I know you get that, right? When people come to us,
yes.
they want a fair shot. They feel like they've been denied justice. And so I've always just not really cared about your affiliation. I've been more concerned about whether you get a fair shot and your access to opportunity if you're willing to work for it.
And
So,
the office
yeah.
that you're working with the governor, which
Yes.
office is it?
It's called the Nevada Equal Rights Commission.
Okay, and you
Yeah.
have been working with the other governors, Sisolak,
Yeah.
and also previous
For
governors.
a long
Sandoval.
time, yeah, since 2010. Yeah, I left California after working for Governor Schwarzenegger. He termed out, and I moved to Nevada, and I'm Nevadan through and through. I've been here the longest I've ever lived in a place, and so yes, I started off as an ombudsman. I was a mediator. Sam, you already know what that is.
Yes.
Most of the things we do, we settle. So I've been mediating cases and claims for Nevadans for going on 13 years now.
13
So I know I look young, but I'm not.
You are. I don't ask. Okay. You are. You
I
young.
look
You're
young,
great.
but no,
You
it
look
hurts
great.
in the morning, Sam.
So
I
you
wake
came
up
to-
and
you-
wonder how I injured myself in my sleep.
It's-
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. So it's interesting because I came to not to United States, to Las Vegas for the school, go to UNLV.
Yes,
in
go
2010.
Rebels.
Go Rebels. Yes,
Yeah.
exactly. And I graduated in 2013. That's interesting that we moved to Nevada at
Both
the
in
same time.
2010. Yeah, parallel. And here we are.
Here we are.
Yeah, here we are, still kicking.
So tell me exactly
Yeah.
what do you have planned for people of Las Vegas?
Oh, I have so much planned. I have so many great ideas about how we can just move the city forward. It's already on a very positive trajectory, Sam. We've got your law firm here helping other people, but we've also got a mix of cultures and diversity in terms of different types of entrepreneurs, businesses. We've got we're the entertainment capital of the world, but now we're about to be the sports capital of the world. And so there's going to be so much opportunities for businesses to grow. And so the mayor's primary role is to make sure that people feel welcome to the city, but also that we have economic opportunities for our working class, right? The people that roll out the red carpet that others walk on. People who sometimes feel unseen in a city of glitz and glamour, the clients you represent, the people that I want to work for. It's to make sure that they have good paying jobs, can send their kids to college if they want, or have a vocational training option. To buy a house, to just live well, because that's what everybody wants. And of course, obviously, a safe city. We need to lift up our law enforcement and make sure that, we have a safe city that people can come back and visit to.
From
yeah.
the perspective that of the person that you lived in California, you were in the office in California, and also you see in the news. I ask other candidates as well.
Yeah, I heard I'm your second candidate. You didn't have me first. I'll forgive you on that, Sam. You're forgiven.
I'm going to ask you the same question.
Sure.
Because a lot of people are concerned about that spilling those violence and the thing that is the city of San Francisco, Los Angeles.
Sure.
They call it here unlawlessness. Actually, there is no check and balances and people doing those videos that coming out and the people are scared. Say, oh, why Los Angeles is like that?
Yeah.
Why people are committing crimes and no punishment or something? What's your stand is exactly standing as to those kind of things not happening in Las Vegas?
Well, it shouldn't. And I want us to be
Yeah.
the city that is the kind of pilot for a safe city where you can still have fun and run your business. And I'll tell you this, in my job, everybody should get a fair shot. So I don't care if you are a 40-year-old white guy or an 18-year-old black man, young man. Everybody gets a fair shot. And so here's the deal. We support our law enforcement. We make sure that they have engaged community policing tactics at their disposal. We don't overwork them to the sense that we make them social workers. But here's the deal. I'm not going to call a social worker if someone's breaking into my house at 2 o'clock in the morning, Sam.
Yeah.
I'm calling the police because they have a specific goal, and that's to keep us all safe. And it doesn't matter what you look like or who you are. You should basically be kept safe. But we have to uphold and maintain lawfulness because we don't want to be known as a lawless city. I haven't heard that, but we have fun in Vegas, and I also think that the mayor should, basically encourage fun and tourism, but responsibly, as well as lifting up law enforcement so that people can come back. You don't want to.
Our current governor Lombardo is coming from the background. He was a sheriff of the Clark County. How is going to interact with you? Because you have a close relationship. You are in the office. You report to him, actually.
Well, I report through his cabinet
staff.
Yes.
So how it affected our perspective of the enforcement of law in Nevada? Does it have any effect that we have a sheriff as a governor? Not? What do you think about it?
Well, I think that's a great question, and I just want to separate this a little bit because I am an appointee. I do report to him, and so I have to separate kind of my opinions and talking about his administration with my campaign. But in my opinion, in working with now, he's my fourth governor, he seems to be very surrounded with very, very well intentioned for Nevadans. He has good people around him. I've had really good opportunities to talk to his staff, and he believes in law enforcement. He is tough on crime. He wants people to be safe. But in my personal capacity as running for mayor, I think I also believe in that sentiment as well, that people need to be kept safe.
Another thing that I always ask about the homelessness.
That's polling.
It's another issue in the downtown Las Vegas.
It is.
Close to my office. Only my internet was cut off 3 times the cables.
I live in Ward 3, Sam, and my house was, when it was an
They cut the
escrow.
wire and they take it out, and the cable, I don't know. We were not having internet for 3 days. We didn't have it.
There might be copper in that or something that they can sell.
Yes.
And that, what that shows? It's indicative of a bigger problem that's now bubbling over and affecting all of our lives. And so I was just saying, I live in Ward 3, and when I was buying my house downtown, and when I was in escrow for my house, for all of those that escrow is like the process of waiting for all the checks to clear. And someone squatted my house, my brand new renovated house that I had worked so hard for, and I was really torn because at the one end I felt like, someone broke into my house. I felt very violated. I was mad. But then I also realized someone really needed a place to stay. And maybe that was the one night someone slept peacefully without having to deal with any other problems because they're experiencing homelessness. And so I just thought about, this is more indicative of a bigger problem. It's almost like when you walk down the street, Sam, and you see a tent.
That's sad.
You can't walk around it. Well, you have to walk around it but you can't not look away. And so what that's telling me is that we now have issues where we are not addressing a homelessness issue, and it's now spilling into other areas that affect safety, that affect the ability to travel and enjoy restaurants with your family or entertain. And so those are things that I definitely want to fix. It's polling high. People want a safe city. And we'll look at the experts. I've been having conversations with other experts who feel like they know what measures we can take to basically give these folks who really need help wraparound services, get them safely put into housing, and then give business owners the opportunity to run their businesses without interference, or even homeowners who live in the city, like myself, not to feel afraid that their house might be squatted. It is real. It's a real problem.
And there are some posts and also social media, or there are some comments under the social media I followed and see that under the news regarding homelessness. Some people say the government should step in and take it in their hand instead of the funding the nonprofit, because nonprofit still is a business. They
Right.
monetize actually out of the homelessness, and there is no intention of our intention, but they are motivated not to wrap up and bring the end to the homelessness.
Because
What
they
does
get
it stand?
funding
What's your
for yeah.
opinion about that? That
Yeah.
it should be the government entities to directly interfere and take over the fight over the homelessness, or it can be funding the nonprofit organization to do it.
This is so good. This is so good. So I believe that we should have both public and private partnerships to tackle the problem. I don't think the government has the total solution. And well, here's the deal. Nonprofits usually are experts in the field that are working out of the goodness of their hearts to receive funding. This is the money I'm sure your folks are telling you about, so that they can service a population in a need. But they also need government support and also to enforce and to just make sure that things are done in a way that meets statutory requirements and code. And so I think it's got to be a public-private partnership. And so that's bringing people together, which I'm really, really good at, sitting people down and saying, okay, how can you help? How can you help? And bringing people to the table and then effectively coming up with a plan that will work. And we start off with targets and goals. And then what doesn't work, we cut out. What works, we keep going. And we look at other cities and see what they're doing. We basically just don't do nothing. My frustration as a citizen and a resident that I think resonates with so many people and why they're behind me is that we just see people not doing anything. They just talk about it. So currently the ordinance for homelessness is that either you get fined $1,000 or you spend 6 months in jail. Well, what does that do for homelessness? The person or
They change from the street to the jail and come back on the street.
And it puts a strain on our correctional officers as well. Like, what does that do? It just puts it's Band-Aids over bullet holes that I'm really working to just get out of the way, because there's so many other great things coming. If we don't tackle these situations or these problems that we've had, that all of my opponents have had the opportunity to effectively deal with, then we can't move forward. And so it's time to move forward. And so out of a sense of urgency and a need for effective leadership, it's getting all the key players, public and private, around the table to tackle an issue and start chipping away at what works. And what doesn't work, we toss it out. What works, we keep going. But we don't do nothing. Or we'll have more of you getting your internet stolen, more squatters, people who can't have affordable homes, or people who are experiencing homelessness who are really in need of services. It's just we just can't ignore it anymore. In fact, it's staring at us at every intersection in Las Vegas with a sign.
Yep.
And you notice how people don't like
Some
to
of
look
them
at
are
that person.
creative.
They're very creative, and it's
One of them was telling me, I read it, say, ninjas, help me, ninjas killed my parents. Please help me to buy swords to go fight them. I say, what's that? Is it a new trend?
So we're
at the same time I was laughing.
Sam.
At the same time I was just saying, it's sad. What was that? Interesting
So there's a mental
thing.
health component too with that, and so a lot of people who experience homelessness or who are homeless, they also are dealing with other issues too. It's like homelessness is not just the one thing; it's one of many things, and so that's where government can help. Wraparound services for that particular person who might need a counselor or a social worker to get them into a safe place, and it's different than folks who just can't afford a place to live, who are maybe couch surfing at friends' houses because they can't afford their own place. They have a college degree, and mom and dad's like, you got to get out. But you're like, where can I rent? I only make $20 an hour, so I got to get 10 roommates to live well. That's not living well. These are all signs indicative of a city that needs to be corrected with solvable and easy solutions that just we need to handle. And that's what makes a city thrive. And then you just let people do their thing, because I'm not also of the opinion that government needs to hover over people. It should be accessible. You should be able to know who your mayor is, and then or have good folks who can help you with getting your permit, your your liquor license, your food truck permit. You need to be able to say, okay, I have a good idea for a business. Let me just call this number. Let me understand clearly what the requirements are. Let me submit it and let me go do my thing. Let me pay what I need to pay. And that's efficiency. And that's streamlining all the extra stuff that I think
What do you think about that? It's a good thing.
Yeah.
We brought it up right now.
Okay.
What about the food vendors on the strip? Have you read the news about those actually?
No, I don't, but I
That
do
they are
like me a
just
good.
permitting right now.
I love me a good food truck, Sam.
Yeah, we do it always on
Yeah.
the Taco Thursday. We have.
Oh, you do?
and yeah,
Wait, I'm coming.
every.
I want me a taco. But Taco
And,
Thursday,
Taco
not Taco Tuesday.
No, we strike it. It says Thursday.
Okay.
That is a thing actually.
So everybody,
it's at our
going.
office.
I'm going to the
Every
taco
third,
truck.
Thursday of the month, actually.
Okay,
Yes.
I
Taco
would like to-
Thursday at Hey There Law Group.
I will be
Avocados experience.
I will be getting a taco. I will be getting a taco with Sam.
Vito taco.
We
actually. It's a good
barely
taco.
eat. We always work, so we're gonna get a taco. Yes.
That's interesting. So another thing that I noticed, you are a lawyer.
Yes.
Okay,
Yeah.
and you dedicated your life to the public service since
Yes.
your graduation. Where did you graduate?
Loyola
Loyola.
Law School.
Law
Yes,
School.
in New Orleans. I am
New
from the
Orleans.
South.
Oh, okay. So
Yes.
and you
Well, my
went to
family
LA.
is, yes.
You went to LA and you worked
For the California Coastal
California
Commission?
Coastal Commission
Yeah.
under Governor.
Well, that
Schwarzenegger.
was through the AG's office, and I don't remember who the governor was at the time. It was in the 2000s. You were like 10.
2010.
I don't know
Okay.
who it was. It was
That's
an internship.
interesting.
Yeah, it was very interesting. I worked for a really great judge. Her name was Judge Clara Sifklin. Hi, Judge Sifklin. If you can see me now, I'm running for mayor. Hi, Judge. She was phenomenal, and yeah, I've had a lot of interesting jobs and opportunities. I actually worked for a probate attorney, a criminal defense attorney in SAC. I was trying to find kind of my rhythm with the law. You can understand it's a love-hate relationship at times. And I found my happy place with my current position at Equal Rights, making sure people get a fair shot. That is great. And in that capacity, I oversee the agency. It's a really small agency, but we work very, very hard like a law firm. And we have access to DAGs and attorneys to review our work, but I work around phenomenal investigators and a team. And again, we have the support of this governor, so I'm very happy. However, I've been doing this for a long time, and it's time for something else, and it's time for mayor. It's
Okay.
time for mayor, Sam.
Thank you. That's great. Yes, let's go. Another thing, I was thinking about any other issues, social issues that you think that should be addressed in this podcast right now, that you think that is so important for you that you have to talk about.
Thank you, Sam. That's a great question.
That's
So
a-
now
that's the
I
thing,
got
that's
the
most
light.
important thing that boggling your mind. Say, I have to talk about this. That's my message.
Well, my message is that I think leadership should be accessible, and I want to bring light to the people that feel unseen. I don't care who you are, where you come from. If you live here, you should have an opportunity, just like Sam and I came here from wherever we came from. We had the blessings of faith in our family, but also Nevada gave us our shot. And so because of Nevada, we're living our dreams. And I want that to be for anyone who comes here, any young child or any family, I don't care where you're from, if you're an immigrant family, if you're a family that emigrated here, you should be able to come here and live your dreams and get a fair shot. And so I just really want to emphasize that people who work really hard here oftentimes feel unseen and in the shadows of all the glitz and glamour that we love in Vegas. And we have the best dining here, we have the best entertainment, but let's not forget the people that created that environment. And those are the people that work every day very hard to put a roof over their kids' heads and just want a good life. We need to be there for them. So I think that's what's on my heart right now, Sam. And I will be that mayor.
That's great. Thank you for coming.
Sam,
on
we
the
had a couple of questions from our viewers that I wanted to hit one of them.
Okay.
The first question is lottery. Should we have it?
Yep, that's a good question.
Okay.
What do you think? That's a constitutional
It
issue
is.
in
It
Nevada.
is. Well, I think that it would be a great revenue builder for the state.
For
but
the schools.
It would be great for it would be bring in additional revenue, but there is talks of how that might interfere with gaming here, and it's not for the mayor to decide if we should have a lottery or not. But I keep seeing how. And this is my own experience, people who tell you no and then you do it and it works, you keep going and do it anyway. I would not be opposed to exploring that possibility, even at the local level. What if we had a local lottery at the city level. And I mean, there's so many opportunities to fundraise and bring money. But I mean, if we could have it at the local level, why not? The city of Las Vegas has a really good constituency. And if we could have like a local lottery, we need to bring people to the table to see what we can do, how we can do it, if we can do it, and let's go. I am not opposed to that personally. I just know at the state level, it's been some back and forth on that. But that's a great question because that viewer is asking about revenue to the state so that other people can do well. So
what about your plan? That's a question I asked before from the other candidates as well. What's your plan to bring the job creators like Tesla? That was asking the last time. Say, why Tesla going to Austin instead of going to the backyard of California? Right. That is so close to California and coming to Las Vegas.
And they have a factory in Nevada.
They have a factory in Reno.
Yes.
Why not bring
Governor
into
Sandoval did a good job of getting
around the Las Vegas to just have them here? Or what was the reason? And it was a Clark County?
It wasn't
was a
in
city,
that room.
or it was a state?
Yeah, it was a state issue. I know that we have Tesla up in northern Nevada, and that's a huge job creator for a lot of people. But in Vegas, we should. And Tony Hsieh was a creative, and he was actually from the Bay Area, and he was the one who was a venture capitalist who invested in businesses. So here's the deal with businesses and business loans. It's really hard to get. A lot of lenders will not give you a loan for a first-time business concept. They'll usually look to see if you already have an established business with clientele and ask you to put some skin in the game. And that might be, mortgaging your home or putting up some collateral too to see that they can get a return on investment. But for the folks that really are just startup, they have to have a really good business plan. And they have to maybe have an investor. And I think that Tony Hsieh was awesome for that because some of the restaurants that we love downtown now were basically seed money from Tony Hsieh. And so it takes a type of personality to kind of make those introductions and help support people in that way and to know what you need to do to qualify. A lot of times people aren't successful. It's not because they don't have a good idea. It's that they don't know what they need to do in order to make it happen. And then their expectations being managed about this is going to take time to grow a business that's sustainable, that doesn't burn out. It's going to take time. But that's where the city should help you because we have every interest in wanting people's businesses to thrive and grow. It only creates more jobs, brings more people. Again, that's that tourism aspect and gives us soul. Gives us a little flavor. Yeah. So anyway, are there any more questions?
Is there any more questions?
We have one more question, and it's just in regards to the dispensaries being so-called supposedly giving money eventually to the school system, and currently like how the teachers are going through their strike.
Yeah.
So I guess you can decipher that one in two parts. Like dispensaries, are you for dispensaries, not for dispensaries? And did you ever think that dispensary money would go to helping schools?
I thought he was going to ask if I ever smoked weed. I was like, here we go. The Bill Clinton question. I didn't inhale. Well, one of the things I will say about marijuana is that it's legal here, right?
It's legal, yeah.
And
Drive-thrus.
So I do know the city, they're getting ready to build these cafes, and I know that Tick Segerbloom was a real strong proponent in the legislature to make marijuana legal outside of medicinal purposes so that people can also derive benefits that might come from cannabis that might be health reasons or because they want to enjoy it like liquor. And so I'm not opposed to that. I feel like any substance should be used responsibly. Again, that's that safety element, balancing safety. We need to keep our people safe, and so enjoy yourself, but there are limits in everything. And so as far as teachers, I know that legally there's a statute that they cannot strike, and that okay, so let me just say this. My sister's a teacher. I love teachers. I support teachers. We need to pay teachers more.
Yes.
I mean, it's just the work that they do. And so
if you don't believe on that, look at the time that they are off or they are not going to the school. Then you will say, give everything to the teachers to take them back for one more day.
You have to know the strength of a teacher when COVID hit.
Then you feel
and how
what the
hard it
teachers
was.
feel.
Yeah, how hard it was. You got a new
Every day.
respect for teachers when COVID hit and the kids were homeschooled. But it's also a focus on our youth. Our youth, they need to be lifted up and they need to have good role models around them. They need to stay on the cutting edge so that they can be competitive. As far as the dispensary and cannabis going to teachers, I'm not aware of that, so I don't want to talk about something that I'm not up to speed on. If there's any more clarity in that question, I'll answer it, but I'm not really aware.
I just think
that.
It was brought up a lot at the beginning when dispensaries were opening that some of the money generated in revenue would be split with the education system in some capacity.
That they would get some of that revenue to help pay teachers more.
It could have been clickbait. I don't
Okay,
know.
it could have been clickbait.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah. But it definitely was a headline that ran for a little bit before dispensaries
Okay.
were legalized out here, from what I remember.
I do know the city's going to open up cafes, and so
Yeah,
I would
lounges.
say lounges.
Yeah,
So I
lounges.
feel like when that happens, people should enjoy it, but responsibly.
Responsible.
Yeah.
That brings revenue and joy to people.
It does.
Yeah.
It really does.
So, anything else that
No,
you want to
I
add?
had so much fun with you, Sam.
Thank you very much for coming on
you
the
work
show,
so
and
hard
thank you.
all that you do for people and the community here in Nevada.
Thank you.
We're really lucky to have you.
Thank you very much.
Just so you all know, when we were getting ready to start this podcast, Sam was on a call for a client, like working up to the point of saying go, press record. And that's a level of commitment that we need here to support the people that live here. Appreciate you, Sam.
Thank you very much for
Thank
coming
you.
on
This
board.
was so
and,
fun.
we will see you again.
Yes, you will.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right.